Carl West, man.
What's up?
Looking good. Thanks for being here. What is on your mind today?
Oh my God, you called me at the right time. You asked me to be here on the right time because there's three things that's always on my mind, and both of these things are front and center. And of course, let me go with this, the least important but yet important. We are in this election cycle here in Chicago where folks are running for US Senate, folks are running for Congress, and folks are also trying to replace people in the state representative elections. And so, what's bothering me, and I've had a conversation over the last few days with some of my, I created this thing called the Black Media Coalition some years ago, co founded it with other Black media owners and and I can name them, but people know who the black media players are. They are relevant today for the most part because every when people say every vote counts, that means you got to respect the media and whoever they may cater to, whether it's a group of five or whether it's a group of 2005 or whether it's a group of 25,000 or 250,000. If you say every vote count, that means you should be using every viable media outlet to reach those singular votes that you say count. And so what I've come to realize is that these elected officials in Chicago, Illinois, and especially, and I'm going to target the black ones, but the white ones also are egregious as well. But we know what to expect from them, and that's hardly anything, right? They only going to try to use us and abuse us. But the black candidates, whether they incumbents or whether they new, they tend to discount black media, and we've had these conversations over the past and is now as relevant. I guess I've been in this game way too long because I'm like whatever, like because I'm not gonna hold back and let you guys continue to because I call it disrespect. So they spending tens of millions of dollars on white-owned television stations and radio stations. Granted, I understand the visibility of what television and radio gives you. Can't discount that one bit. It is crucial to somebody winning an election or being reelected. Gotta have it. Not knocking that. Throughout the year prior to running for a campaign, you rely on black media to get your messages out there about the things that you're doing throughout the 4 years when you're not running, or 2 years if you're a state rep or whatever the case may be. But then when it comes to election time, like now, all of a sudden they forget that we exist. And so when we asking them about media dollars and spending money, they act like we ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. And we watching them spending tens of millions of dollars collectively on our local TV stations that are white owned. Again, can't knock them, gotta have it. But then when they finally come to us, like right now, the election is March 17th. Today is what, March the 5th? Today is March 5th. Now all of a sudden they calling us saying we want to do an ad buy. We want to do an ad buy with the Black Media Coalition. And we looking like we've been trying to get you guys to run ads since you started running radio TV ads late last year. Now all of a sudden y'all wait till the 11th and a half hour and call us and say, man, we want to do something with y'all now. And you spend pennies. Spend pennies. It's really insulting.
Okay.
It's the most insulting thing to me. And it's always been this way, but I've been quiet. And I gotta admit, for my own business, I've done well in my business. I was very smart and I had a mission. I was trained by some of the best, Mr. Bill Garth, John Johnson. And so I understood the landscape from the business side and the content side. So I did okay for myself. I'm not crying the blues, but there's no such thing as ever not wanting more of a pie that is so vast that you can barely see it. And all we get is the crumbs coming off the table that they attempt to do. And these are black people who are running for office. So we just had a conversation over the last 48 hours about this because everybody getting the calls now about placing ads. But then they figure we so desperate for the ads that they would try to negotiate our rates and take us down to literally nothing. And I'm of the ilk of like, bro, sister, I don't even want it. I don't even want it. Just keep it.
Now you're talking inside baseball for a lot, so a lot of people don't understand a word you're saying. I understand. I mean, if they, well, again, if they're watching this video, they do understand. But a lot of folks don't understand what you're trying to say. But it's about respect, and you're talking about African American elected officials, not, if you will, doing business with African
There
American
we go.
media.
There we go. Thank
That
you for
doesn't make
making
any
it plain and
sense.
simple. Plain and
Make
simple.
any sense. Keep going. Keep
Plain
going.
and simple. They not doing business with, but yet they call on us throughout their years when they're in office if they win, and they asking us to cover this. Can you write this?
Everybody wants free stuff. Who doesn't?
Everybody
I
wants
do.
free stuff.
They want free stuff.
And
They
then
don't
now
want to pay
you,
for it.
yeah. So it is the most disrespectful thing to me, and I'm past it in terms of my emotional state. But it's just because you came at the right time, and we having this conversation right now about what we seeing with these black elected officials trying to get their position, trying to they be begging folks for votes, but they don't want to give anything in return. So that's what's on my mind immediately right now. But once the March 17th is over, I don't care who wins. I'm gone from you cats. Don't bother me. You send your
Well,
press releases, they going in the garbage. Okay.
well, we understand elected officials, no matter who they are. I have a very, very low budget, low viewership podcast, but I always tell people, if you're gonna, let's say you're gonna run for alderman of your town, no matter where you live, city of Chicago, whatever, why don't you start now? Start the relationships now. I mean, don't
Absolutely.
wait until the election time. I can't understand it. Why do people wait so late to build a relationship? Like me, I voted 3 weeks ago by mail. So why do people wait so late to build these relationships?
I don't think they are. Listen to me. I'm gonna say this. I don't think these people are as bright as they appear to be. I don't think they are smart or as astute when it comes to business, because being an elected official or running for an office is a business. It looks more social and community, but it's really a business. You have to put all these pieces together. You got to build you a team, even if it's only for the short period of time, right? Because we know once the campaign is over, they close down that office, they cut down their cell phones, they change their emails, they done. It is a short-term business, and they don't treat it as that. Then they treat it as though the voters owe it to them to elect them. And I'm like, that's not, y'all got this all wrong. Building relationships early is the best way to do it. But anyway, enough of them. The second thing that gets to me, and this again is ongoing, always has been. I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism, but I believe you can do good in the hood if you make when you making money. I'm always a man of that faith. I support a lot of organizations, and the blessings that I've gotten running a business that I thought that was again satisfactory to my liking, and I didn't want to go here. I made sure that I kept my business at a moderate place where I didn't have all the stress and the headaches. I could have gone further, as you talked about to me once before. If I would have took the bag, I would be somewhere else. But I chose not to take the bag. But I also was smart enough to know how to run a business and keep it moderate where I can make a living for myself and whoever else is in my life, family, daughter, whatever. But so here we are. I've been talking about wealth. People always talk about wealth is legislated. We have to build wealth in our community. It is absolutely a necessity. And we see it now in how these wealthy people are backing Trump. He called the wealthy to his office and said, here's what I need y'all to do for me. Build this, invest in this, and do that. That's what you get an opportunity to do when you build wealth. You get to have a little more power, a little more leverage in how your neighborhood, your community, and your home, your city, and your state looks when you are involved in a wealth building mechanism. So now we say wealth is legislated, right? I've been on this kick for a while now. So I go to my elected officials. Who have you made a millionaire? Who have you made millionaires in your community? If wealth is legislated, that means when contracts come up, are you calling brothers to the table, sisters to the table, and say, what can we do to help you? Because if we help you build a legitimate business that's millions of dollars in revenue, guess what you're going to do? You're going to create jobs. And those jobs, guess what they're going to do? They're going to most likely go into the community where you live, work, and play. That's all has ever been done. This ain't nothing new. It's how they play. When Apple built a whole community around their office space and they hiring all these people to live in these spaces, these residents, they create communities, they create families, they create opportunities to have other opportunities. And so, and when it killed me when I learned this some years ago, being wealth is legislated, and I'm gonna close on this little one tidbit. When I found out that Obama is the one that helped fund Tesla, I was blown away. Obama is the one that gave Tesla, it was an experiment talking about the electric cars. And Musk, it wasn't even his company. Tesla was somebody else's company that failed, and Musk bought it. And how did he do it? He bought it with two $500 billion grants from Obama. The first one he jagged off and lost it all because whatever reason, and then Obama gave him another $500 billion grant, which what built Tesla. Wealth is legislated. That was legislation that gave him a grant, and now he has almost $1 trillion company.
He'll be the first trillionaire,
He's
and
the first
maybe
trillionaire, but not
trillionaire.
only that, he employs 2 million people worldwide. To me, that's the bigger picture. Not just Musk became wealthy, but he created wealth opportunities for 2 million other people that are now raising families. And all these jobs, respectfully, I did the research, are all $100,000 plus jobs. He has about 10% of his workforce that all makes $1 million. They top tier engineers. And these people make $1 million in salary. Can you imagine if we had a black company? I say, why didn't Barack do a black company like that? Not Tesla, but a black company, and give them that kind of grant opportunities. And you could do that locally. You could do that on the local level through the city council, mayor, through the governor. And why aren't we seeing more black people locally becoming millionaires through government? They do more trying to keep people from building a business by all this regulation and contest your zoning than they do in trying to help you create millionaire black people that could create great companies that can employ thousands and thousands of black people. That to me bothers me more than anything else.
I let you go because I let you talk because it was so good. Now, but what you're saying is that there's a few people understand what you just said, and for for that last 10 minutes,
Yes.
but the masses don't. And let me end this show by just throwing this out to you, and you can end the show. It's like, who is telling the masses what really needs to be, what they really need to know, then explain it to them why they need to know it and why they need to take action. They would say, "Oh, that what Carwell said, that's all nice, but I need food, clothing, shelter. I need a middle class life. I need an instant tangible benefit right now." How do you explain that to a young person who's 20, 30 years old? What is the world really like, and what the game is really like, and how you can profit or prosper in this game?
Well, we have to understand how the world functions first. And it's very difficult, as you're saying, to do that in this microcosm of a world that's they call it microwave world, especially now with the cell phones and everything. So instant. So for those who don't get it, I'm sorry. You have to communicate to the folks who get it, because in this world, just like we got a guy talking about a war, and in all wars, there are casualties. Everybody will not make it back home safely. That's just the nature of the life. Some folks leave their house this morning, going out to work, to play, to do whatever. Some of them will not make it home for various reasons: heart attacks, car accidents, unfortunate murders. Just the reality of the life that we live. You have to understand that world. To me, the best thing you can do is understand how the world functions from A to Z to better show you how to function. I can't educate you in these sound bites, whether it's here or anywhere else. You have to have some idea how the world functions. I can remind you, I can enlighten you, I can educate you to what is going on in the world that you exist in more so than you know. And now you have to have what it takes inside of you to go out there and execute it for you and your family so you can eat and get bread and get bacon and get sausage. But most important, to create something that you can pass on for generations to come. To me, that is a man's responsibility, is to be able to create an opportunity I remember I never forget a man in the office told me this, and I believe in this, and I don't knock anybody who don't, but I believe in this. A dude was talking about how great he was at his company. "Oh, I'm the best dude at my company. I do this, I do this." I was with one of my good mentors, and he's a very successful dude. The dude was talking about, "Man, I'm the best. I'm number one in my company. I do this, I do this." And he said, "Dude, okay, you make your company all this money. You number one on the chart, right? They love you to death. They give you a quarter office. You got vacations." And he said, "Can you take your child?" He said, when's your kid graduate from school?" "Oh, well, he graduates soon." I said, "Can you walk your son in there today when he graduates and just get him or her a job?" He said, "Probably not." He said, "Well, what's the point? What's the point? All the things you do for that company, and you don't even have the leverage to even give an opportunity for your own children. I bet you that white man can walk all his kids in there and have a job tomorrow. And I bet some of the other white people who are in your same position, maybe even less than you, can bring their kids to that office and have them working for the summer or full time. And you telling me you don't think, you don't even have, by fact, you ain't even think like that. You ain't even thinking about how can I use this position I have with this company, which is all short term, because it's nothing lasts forever, whether it be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, still short terms in the scope of life. Have you ever thought about what your kid gonna do when he graduate, he or she? That should be the first thing you think about. "Oh, I'm gonna get you a job over here where I'm at because I'm quote unquote, I'm the best Negro. I'm at the top of the game. I'm making up a bunch of money." So what you're telling me is that with all that, you still have no leverage. You still Our job as men for our families and our children, our community, is to do the best that we can to create leverage to move the needle. That is our responsibility. That's it to me. That's it. If I can't do that, if I can't call one of my buddies, whether he got a fast food restaurant or whatever, say, "Hey, my daughter needs a job," and he say, "Send her over here." If I don't have what it takes to get that done, I failed in some kind of way of being a protector, a defender, and a provider, which is what men are and should be.
Carl West, thank you so much.
I appreciate you, brother. Do this again real soon. I'm always here. And there's more stuff on my mind.